no. Like, we are all together. I'm also a son in the house.
You have to eat what
yeah.
you are eating.
Angifuni ukuhlala ezitulweni lezi ezispecial.
I'm a yellow couch.
No. Like, khona lezi, yabo. Yeah. Khona lezi, khona lezi. Yazibona. Noma ngahlala lapha, where does the band sit? I'll sit there.
Sure.
Such things. But ke asiqhubeke mngana.
Why were you fired?
No. Insensitive law. Okay. What had happened was, nabanye abafana naye abadela konke ngenxa yenkululeko.
Thaba fethu ke nna bia ke jigile ke mora matlapane ke mosimana go taung ke tswa kwa motseng o dithula pa Bristol ke nne mo diapula. Okay, welcome to Gospel Chat with Neo. Today's guest, like what I'm introduce ka pina fela. He's just going to sing. Khona di backing vocalist Marlene Temo. Mr. Kunene, please sing a pandle back just to introduce yourself, Malibong.
Ngaphandle kwakho anginathemba, anginalutho.
Yes, sir.
Ngaphandle kwakho. I want to go backing vocalist. Lilale. I'm just sleepy. You are sleepist. And if I can name names now, I'm a sleepist. It's good to be here.
Welcome to Gospel. Johnny.
Whoa, I'm professional. Akazenzi nje lezo zinto lezo ebe pussy juice.
How's it, bro?
Good, no. It's so good to be here.
It's good to have you back here.
Yeah.
You're still doing gospel.
Look, let me put it this way. I like that. I like that. Uvele waqala wangena lapho. So I'm a child of God first and foremost.
Yeah.
Right. And I consider myself to be in Dashingana, like worship. Okay, let me put it before me consider it. I'm plugged in a local church. I serve every Sunday at my local church. I'm a worship leader. And so every week I engage with the songs that we're gonna be doing, the liturgy, looking at the themes and things like that. So for me, this is what I believe in. Now, gospel artist, that's a whole different whole title, right? I think the one that I am comfortable with is that I'm a worship leader, who sings faith music. Yeah, and I mean, we'll get into the depths of why is it Figela? Yeah.
I get all the way to see it. Everyone, really straight in daddy.
No, as in, let me do the African thing. Sanwanani Dumelang, I hope you're good. It's such an honor to be here. Yeah.
I think months ago, we spoke. It's been coming actually.
Yeah.
I think this is the right time where we have to do this. And we get to know who's in Jabulo. What is he doing? How's Val? How's Gauteng? And all that.
Yes.
We knew you from the band.
Yes.
Back then.
Yes.
I think it's about 7 or 8 years from now. If not a decade.
It's Yahweh is officially 10 years old.
Yeah, so it's longer than that.
Yeah.
And you were with them for 7 years. And 7 in when you look at in the Bible, it's complete.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
perfection.
Yeah.
How was your experience before you got there and now?
Again, I'm gonna go back to that point I made. I was leading worship at His People Doringfontein campus, and that was what I was busy with. And then about 13 years ago, this was 13 years ago, I remember I was with Umrendeni and Puluso and a number of guys. They're preparing for Sunday service, and Randy was like, you know what? I'm tired of us singing other people's songs. Can we have a jam session a jam session or something like that? And Puluso happened to be like, he had this melody in his heart, da, 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 da. And that's how Bayete was born. So I wrote Bayete in that setting. Once we finished doing it, we decided, like Randy was the worship leader at the time. We decided, no, we're going to sing the song on Sunday, and we sang the song on Sunday. The congregation received it very well. The following we rehearsed on Tuesdays. So the following Tuesday, we were rehearsing for Sunday. We did Bayete again. Upwood Sunday was like our worship pastor, mentor, disciple, that type of vibe. So when we eventually did the song, we had it, and he went to Zama and he said, Zama, who's the artist who's doing who's singing the song? And we're like, no, actually NJ wrote it. So that Sunday came to me and was like, can we do the song at main church? I said, cool. Then he did the song at main church, and a lot of people received the song really well, and it was done in different. So I forgot how many campus ministries His People had at the time, but towards the end of that year, 2008, towards the end of that year, a lot of the church, our campus ministries and the main church were doing the song. And I think that was my introduction into the band, because Langa had he had a vision of doing something called We Will Worship, right? They did something in 2006 and in 2007. So I was coming from church, Parktown North, and he approached me and said, look, this is what I'm currently working on. I'd love for you to be part of that. So I was like, cool. And then 2009, we had a songwriting retreat of sorts. So we started working on songs. TK was also there, right? And Ted Gonzo was also there. We started working on songs. Then in 2010, the EP came out, right? It had 3 songs. I think City of Gold. It had Malu. No, it didn't have Malibonga. It had Bayete, and it had Who else can speak? One of my favorite songs, by the way, Nothing is Impossible. Yes, it had that. And 2 poems. One from Umex and the other from I think it's Jude. Yes, that was from Jude. So the journey itself didn't come from we're going to make music for the world. It's just we're a bunch of worship leaders who came together, and and then in 2011 we recorded Yahweh, and we really weren't expecting the reception that we got, but it was very positive. Though also positive, it was rough because obviously you're independent artists,
independent students, all big budgets and stuff.
And they never were like, you're done now. I just finished my degree. So I had to figure out going to gigs, Baba. Showcases are not nice. They're nice. It's nice to sing, because we love to sing. We love to minister, And so like, come to my church. You're like, yes, I'm there. And then after the whole thing, you're like, where am I going to sleep? Where am I going to sleep? And then also building the stuff, as so you're working ngapa, you're doing music ngapa, you know, it was tough, but also very rewarding, especially when we were traveling to, when we would travel together as the band.
The vibe, it's nice.
Yeah, and also just everybody knew why we were doing what we were doing, right? There was no need to say, hey, remember, Chief, we are here for Jesus.
Come on.
Remember, at the center of it, no, everybody knew why we were. You understand? So that was really fulfilling.
For me, weeks ago, I tweeted something in regard to the band, whether are they not marketed enough, or they are being underrated in our country, or they have their own target market in terms of hitting the huge numbers. I know that you guys have got a few awards. I might be wrong. I'm not quite sure. Is it like more or like you guys, you know what you want, and you were never, let me put it in the past, that you were never focusing on reaching higher numbers?
Hey, no.
Let me
sanitize that question for you. So I will speak from my experience, from let's say from Movement Begins all the way up to Musa, because that was my contribution. Yeah. And also to own and be honest about everything after that, I have not been paying attention. I don't know. I have not been listening to the songs. I have not.
Are you still mad?
No, it's not even about that, right? I think it has taken a while for me to even just have a greater appreciation of ngaphandle kwakho, ngumalibongwe, right? Because my faith is everything to me now. So when you sit across the table and say, I have checked, and like here and here, I'm in full agreement, but here, no, and therefore you are out. So what you're doing is you're switching off the light of hope. You understand? Because me, I'm from an informal settlement, Chief.
Yeah.
I know what it's like to live in a shed, or to have it's a newest township. Mara, it started off, you know those townships. Started off as an informal settlement, and now it's a township. I've lived that. What has carried me has been my relationship with Christ. So for a while, I had to contend and fight about, yes, I belong. I am a son in the house, and I am loved by God. I am known by God, and I am called by God. That I will not let go of something that is eternal over something that is not eternal. Husband and wife, that's not eternal. As much as we have used it as a platform to elevate, especially the saints from, almost when you're coming from youth to also, people who are called into full-time ministry and are not married will tell you that there's a certain glory that comes when you now find a wife, which is weird for me, right? Because on the LGBTQI space, you are quite comfortable to quote Paul. You are quite comfortable to give me Romans chapter 1. No, let's not talk about the context of how the book of Romans was written and what was Paul trying to comment or his message, because there is Romans chapter 3 where he concludes by saying, therefore all have sinned and fall short of the glory of God. But Mara, la Paul atikona, if it was up to me, I would want you not to get married, because a single person is concerned with the things of the Lord. No, you don't want to hear him there.
You want to hear him there.
There in the church, if you want to get promotion, shata. If you want to be able to stop just, dealing with just youth and preach on a Sunday where everybody's there. Not on a Sunday when people have gone away for Christmas. No. Like, shata.
Yeah.
Then you will, I'm like, how? Buroto. Serious? Oh, so, but then when we have this conversation, I'm like, no, but Mtana Seka, you can't pick and choose. I'm like, but you are picking and choosing most. But I say, I
want us to go back to Malibong, the birth of Malibong.
Yes.
I started knowing the song in 2016. Yeah, I was still in East End. I was still staying there. And I was at this church. It was the time I was still playing drums before I met a lady, and then they destroyed my future. So, yeah, there's a lady. So that song, like, it's been huge, man. And even the numbers never lie.
Yeah.
On YouTube, like the birth of Malibong, and what did it mean to you?
So I loved. So the song was written by Sivu and Tats, and I always forget that 3 guys. Let me say this: I have mad respect for Sivu and Tats.
Shout out.
Like, I have just mad respect for these guys. In fact, just as you know, I'm figure like, yeah, these are the guys you must look up to. I've mad respect for them, and so I loved their vision of it. Like,
yeah. Can you give us 2 lines of their vision?
It goes, ngaphandle kwakho anginathemba anginalutho ngaphandle kwakho. There you go, 2, 3, 4. Wangifela sibambane. So it's that song, but like it's and the sauce.
Yeah, the sauce of it.
The sauce. In a la sauce. You know?
Yeah.
So I fell in love with that version of the song. So now we're preparing for Movement Begins. I feel Langa has rearranged the song. Now it's like, yin le rock, yin le do, yin le. Kwenzakalani la. Also, you must understand, I'm studying political science at the time. Very political as well. I'm struggling. I'm in a multicultural church, and I am battling because Grand Sharp, me and whites. I'm from Orange family. Assemblies of God. Sitting, somebody. I want to entertain. That's where I'm coming from. Also, the context of South African history. I believed, I felt white people got away with murder. Right.
Are you going to explain it?
In that
we are still in the birth of
you're coming into a country, you colonize it, and then there's apartheid, and then after that Mandela's free, and then South Africa, we love you, our beautiful land. Let's show the whole. Then all of a sudden we emerged as the Rainbow Nation. Right? I had a problem with that. Right? Because I'm like, no. But in running to Africa, because I met his people. His people is a diverse church, and now I'm engaging with white people, and there's some dope ones, and I'm just like, what's happening, right? I'm aware of revelations, but I'm just like, I'm aware that I'm sort of good to know Christ came to redeem the whole world, right? But I had struggles, and deep-seated hate and dislike for whiteness, right? And white people. I know it's very uncomfortable, this thing. But
I'm letting you be yourself.
It's gonna let you.
So we are in a class now.
So now here I am. These are tensions I've been holding. but now are being made bare by this arrangement of this song. I'm taking offense to the fact that now it's a rock song. Why? Like the soul and the source of it is just, it's gone, right? To, now like we are, and, you know, we will worship is preaching this whole diversity and whatnot. I'm like, but why must we cater to? Why must we change ourselves so that they can come in?
Why don't they come in?
And it was in worship actually that, you know, that aha moment happened. You know? Because then afterwards I saw a multitude of people that no one could number, from every tribe, from every nation. Once that's sunk in, but you okay. Then I had to start having a conversation with myself. Years later, now I understand about, no, my cry was for justice. My cry was for equality. Restitution is a biblical principle. You don't steal and then like, okay, I'm sorry. Oops. One thing I can. And then after I was like, but black people, why can't you get with the problem? I'm like, hold on.
Yes, sir.
Before you can talk about me arriving late at your workplace, let's talk about the fact that I had to take 3 taxis to get here. And that is by design. Let's talk about the fact that townships were, by design, the accepted distance from a black settlement to South Africa, where white people lived, was 45 kilometers. That's a long thing. And then you did not do anything about public transport because you were catering for just this. And we don't just imagine and suddenly those problems are not there. And then I'm like, let's engage honestly about these things. But I am grateful for this song, Malibongo, because it did a work in me, but also it allowed, a lot of churches that would not necessarily sing, you know, black songs. Jabulani, Jabulani, Africa. Yes, you're welcome. Thank you very much. Because that's what you were saying. Jabulani, Jabulani, Africa. It was just a lot. It was just a lot. So shame, you know, in that thing. And also to say about now it's my conviction about it pleased the diverse God to create a diverse people. And that's why even when we get to the other side of heaven, he doesn't take that away, you know. But I could take this in many different directions, but like lead them parts.
The 2 projects you did,
yes.
What's your, like, you say, okay, this is my ultimate favorite song from the project that I've been on back then?
I won't choose one. I choose 2. So I would say Utando from Yahweh.
Yeah.
That's for me. It's just how I got to collaborate with TK. Thank you, my brother. Thank you. I got to collaborate with TK in writing the song. But also the message of the song, you know. Sibona ngothando lwakhe, simbona ngothando lwakhe, simbona ngothando lwakhe, uthando lwadela ukufa, you know. Love that dealt death. Uyini ukudela nge-English, man? Ukudela, it's just
ukudela.
Lerato
le makatsa,
lerato le la kgetha lifu for me and you. It was like, I am choosing death so that all these people can be redeemed and they can have access to the Father, you know. It's very personal to me. And then the other one is Bayete. Bayete will always be my favorite. Simply because of, when you're a songwriter, sometimes you hear all these melodies and you think you're crazy. You're like, oh, will this work? Because you move from literally a place of nothingness to a song idea, to a melody, and then you're like, and then for a song to impact generations of worshippers across. I mean, I had an opportunity to sing the song in Norway, and I was like, hey, I'm in Norway singing a Zulu song. You understand, like it's always going to be dear to me. That's all.
Yeah. After 7 years of the group, you left it. Before you could get to the why, of why you left the group, or why did they fire you? What is it that you learned from that 7 years you were with the group?
One, that the gospel of God, the gospel of the kingdom of God is alive, bro. Alive. Just
is alive.
Just like, and he's worth dying for. I'm grateful for the moments we got to share in leading children of God into worship in different contexts. Also, just knowing and understanding the impact of recorded worship in the life of a believer. Because sometimes, Sunday is a bit far, you just need to be reminded in your car that, who is like the Lord in all the earth. Matches love and beauty and his word, nothing. And then that time, maybe, you've just received, I remember in 2014, go Smart, head office. I was working for Smart, Ginza graduate program. And then it was when the band was starting to gig a lot.
Yeah.
With a gig in Pretoria on Friday. And I was notorious for arriving late. Oh, so they made an example. They were like, listen, Jeps, please arrive on time. Now, doing group work with my friends there, with my co-workers at Nesmat, was part of a graduate program. And then at like 3-ish, I'm like, guys, me, I have to go. They're like, no, what are we going to do now? Because you haven't finished. I was like, guys, finish however you finish. Me, call time is at 5 in Pretoria. Get in my, I had a red Atos, handy Atos. Get in my clown car. I get to University of Pretoria, guess what? The people who called the sound check for 5, they're setting up the sound. In fact, no, they're not. There's still a class happening in that thing. That thing got me fired from work. I remember after.
Wait, you left work for that?
I didn't do my assignment. So everybody handed in. I didn't. Then I'm saying, like, and then, conscience, I'm eating, so I can't take credit for work that I didn't do. And they were like, no, Jobs. But also, I'd also been failing at class. Because I was doing English. I was doing work, bro. I was gigging, guys. I was gigging and I was doing their work by macro. But they now study Jim Crow. No, I don't want. So eventually they were like, no, we can't afford to be paying for, because we were going to go to Gibbs. Where's that report? And I didn't have it. Like, you're fired. So as I'm driving out, right, one of my favorite worship leaders is Israel Houghton, right? And I'm driving out, and I was fine with being fired. And then I thought to myself, but what are you going to tell your mom? Ooh, the tears started rolling. And now the free guy. As I got in my car, Israel, it's not over. It's not finished. It's not ended. Israel, it's over. But God was at work. He was doing something, and I needed to leave that space.
Yeah.
So what I'm trying to point out is that the power of recorded worship music is that you are able to tap in that moment without, so by the time Sifika in our corporate worship, I know when God is in it, there's no limit. When God is in it, it's not over, right? So the other thing for me that I obviously learned that was important, just like doing the stuff here professionally. Sound check, you don't just rock up. Just but to know abangcwele bazolibele bakutshela ukuthi sound check ingo-5 mara fika ngo-5 ngoba bona ngeke baqale ngo-5 mara fika ngo-5 because ma ungafiki ngo-5 wafika ngo-6 kwenzeka ukuthi bona babe right. How can you sound professional? So small things, but then like also the power of creating stuff from a place of relationship, because an independent band, for an independent band to get to where it is, there were a lot of sacrifices that were made by people from a place of relationship. Well, I know, Yazin, was telling a lot of people to figure that because it's in a showcase, and I believe that what we, like it's not something like I'm not even going to talk about rehearsal fee. No, so I record that. So figure all those things, over and above funding sometimes, like those smaller sacrifices, and to note them as I'm building now my own stuff, to note them and to acknowledge that, okay, Josh is playing with me and I'm paying him X amount. I know he's worth X amount. Right. And shout out to Josh, talking a real life example, right? I'm like, he's worth X amount, but he sees that, okay, this guy's going there, right? So what I'm going to do, then Josh is gold in my space because he was able to see me when everybody else could. You understand? Yeah. Because young Puka, manje team fida, team go ahlangana nenvelope yawe yeyingcebo. Bantwana benkosi yasicela nabo igospel nonke niyayazi le ndaba le envelope to hayi sabonga John
brown
uthi bawuyiphakamisa uthi bawuyiphakamisa ukuthi yazini ngathi incwadi and hey, look, I have no problems with envelope as long as sibe honest and open. Yeah. From the because kaloku, but yeah, akukhulu mnganami nalokho ukuthi kukhona ama experiences anjalo. Sometimes you'll rock up in a space but we will use our own band.
Red flag.
Now, there should be an understanding. What I've learned from it, there should be an understanding. Well, we're going to be singing in the context of a local church, so it's fine. We'll use your own band. Now I go, cool. Can I just please bring Josh so that it's smoother? Yeah. So that mangbon ukuthi ayazani ingathi lento ayisebenzeki ingathi lento lena ayisebenzeki ngithi weza ke Josh ngibiza ngoba lento ayisebenzeki uyayibona lento just ngimdonsa Josh bese sezi into zakhona, but like always remember you are playing from a context of the church, a local church. So I will never say to you, room temperature, no, no, back in amanzi a local church yako room temperature. Never. And if the answer is no, then danasekai ungayenzi kwamanye ama also 50 cents. Yeah. See, this is life and death, this we're doing here. Yeah. Because then that's where like the gray areas then come up. No. Like we are all together. I'm also a son in the house.
You have to eat what
angifuni nokuhlala ezitulweni lezi ezispecial.
Ama yellow couch.
No. Like khona lezi yabo. Khona lezi kuba nalezi. Yazibona. Inama ngahlala lapha Where does the band sit? I'll sit there.
Sure.
Such things. But yeah,
How were you fired?
No. Insensitive, lo. Okay. What had happened was, the Orlando nightclub shooting happened in 2016, where this guy, a religious fanatic, got in a gay club and started shooting people, and over 50 people were killed from that, right? From that shooting.
Night, yeah.
And so I didn't know about the shooting. So at the time I worked for Grace Point. Amazing. That's my home church. Love that church.
Still fellowship there.
But it's my home church. So fine. My friend Jane goes before a meeting. NJ, did you see the news? What happened? I'm like, no, Jane, I didn't see anything, my friend. So let's I'll check it out later.
Yeah.
Fine, ma'am. Figure I check it out on Tuesday. And it just hits me about in shine and good highball. Konumunte wangena go nightclub. Wathatha isibhamu. Wayodubula abantu about 50 ngenxa yokuthi bathanda bani kanjani. I couldn't sleep, and I was starting to now lento, and then ngiyamthanda ku Twitter, ngimdlala kakhulu, ngiyamdlala u Twitter, dlala impela u Twitter.
Mnandi.
Oh,
dlala kamnandi u Twitter.
So now like see American tweeters awake, and all these, and some white evangelicals also commenting. I'm like, you can't be dragging Islam on the mud because of the act of this person. Because if it's not you are also doing it with your words, with your non-acceptance. How many people who are spiritually displaced as we speak right now, because like Jesus says, I must love the sinner but hate the sin. Love the sinner, hate the sin. Where is that thing? I don't even want to unpack that. So I just got mad. The more I read these comments, the angrier I got. And then I tweeted, Vala Labo. I tweeted, that's not the problem. I tweeted, having same-sex attraction is not something that you can switch on or switch off,
Yes, sir.
How I wish a lot of us could understand that. Yeah, boy. That's all.
That
was my tweet. The end. I wasn't for or against. I just that was my tweet. I wanted that you can go. Manje, my tweets were linked with the village there by Facebook.
Yes, sir.
So I'd forgotten about the village. So I tweet, then I go to sleep. I'm like, fine, I can sleep in peace. I woke up at 20:07. I 26 comments from the village. But the Bible, come. And like, yes, my comments kanjalo 7 exen. I 26. The boss. The double copy. So now everybody's there. I mean, Facebook, you have everyone. Everybody's there. And then I got a call from Putsandi. Putsandi, Jabs, what's happening? Like, I want to know. And then now the heaviness of, I'm feeling a shower or Lunuva. I was like, I went to June, July. Fortunately for me at the time, I was listening to his soundtrack, Dream Girls. And prophetess, evangelist, worshiper, Beyonce song. Listen, I was stuck on that song, right? That was on repeat. It was as if for the first time I'm hearing it. Lingangas got Jehovah. The more she sang, I was just like, first of all, why am I being afraid? Because I know I'm a son in the house. I know that I know what it's like to be outside. Now, I can tell you now for free, me, when I had left the church, I was very suicidal. Like, I wanted to kill myself because here was God not making me straight. When the prerequisite to faith was never about straight or not straight. Do you believe in Christ, yes or no? And then, hey, presto, and then he does the work. Like, uhlala kimi, ngihlale kuye. Uyena wenza umsebenzi. And so, anyways, I'm like, no. I called Uputsana, I was like, let's meet tonight at Grace Point. Now, I want to stress in Nabayasa Grace Point because when I went to Mesmat, so I worked for his people. After I finished with my degree, I then worked for his people, right, which is a church. It's now Every Nation. And so as I was battling with this, and I realized at 26 that, no, God was not going to make me straight. So remind you, for 10 years, this was my prayer. Oh, Lord, make me straight. Oh, Lord, I fasted, man. I prayed. I reached out to Christ Embassy. I reached out to Rhema Bible Church. Like,
I take out the demons.
I didn't go, yay, I'm here. I'm queer. Get up. No, like, it was, and then at 26, I was like, I'm losing this fight. Me.
26 years old.
Yeah. That time, I have a girlfriend who I love, still love till this day. That's a conversation for another day.
We still have time. We'll get to that point.
But then I realized that I was not going to be able to love her the way she wants to be loved. Where you know how they want to be loved. You understand? Yeah. And we are funda straight up. And then that's what we as about doesn't ngizothi ngelinye ilanga ngihleli kwi-concert somewhere yabo vele ngidlule lo bhuti wamaglasi ayelo yabo ebesiyangikhumbuza lento kahle hle wena futhi yabo and I had made a covenant with myself that God was going to heal me and I was not going to be that guy. I was like, as in, even though ikhona lento le attraction mara siyazama, I was just not gonna. So I came out, broke up with my girlfriend that broke me. As much as anyways, that's when we get there. Broke up with and then resigned from, because it was affecting my work. I'm working for the church, right? So I resigned from my job. Like, she's like, I can't do this because in my inside I know it's difficult. The number of times I am frequenting there by Liquid Blue, I am going to be fired. Yeah. And then the other thing is then I stopped going to church altogether. My church was, we would worship because I couldn't stop there. I couldn't stop. Bazalwane, also about this skiga ngisho ngana wasekhaya futhi I understand ukuthi mase nobukhuthunyana kufana nyangudi
sipping saints.
Yeah, and then but the most important thing is that they became my church. I remember one time TK asked this question, why are you coming here? And I was like, I need this, my faith. Like my sister, I need, because I wasn't going to church, right?
You needed something.
Yeah, because I know no Bishop or Oprah free. Magazine another different stars, what sihlale laphayana, and then out. So funny enough, God would use all those moments to speak to me. I remember one time I was watching John Q. And I had watched this movie several times. If you know me, you know that I am pro black actors, pro black professional football players. Just if it's black, I'm there. You understand?
Sure.
And especially understanding the context of, the American movie culture and how like representation is like, So Denzel Washington, one of my favorite, and John Q is like, if you also know me, like, that politics is just like, it's something that I'm. So the first time I watched that movie, I was just like, oh, the insurances, what, oh, the men, like how they look down on black people, just like it's unfair. Blah, blah. But on this particular day, it was playing, it was a Sunday, and I hadn't gone to church. And man, I was throughout the time I was watching that movie, I just saw the father's heart for the son. The man went into the hospital with one bullet. He was going to kill himself and then give the heart to his son.
Yeah.
Just over and over. And then every time I would see that one, and then I kept hearing, how much more me? If an earthly father could do this, how much more me?
Come on.
How much? And I think those were that was like a beginning of God just, saying,
It's time.
No, not the beginning. Well, first of all, he was showing me that I'm here with you right now, right? And that I'm working it out. And somehow, remember I told you about my struggles with whiteness?
Yeah.
Bam! I'm at Grace Point. All right? Grace Point, predominantly white church. God is doing work in my heart. You understand?
He's changing everything.
No. Yeah, you understand? And then, literally, they became my home. I was just like, okay, they were paying me Bazalwane to come through and sing. And I was just like, me, okay, I'm fired, Miss Smart. They fired me. And then the first month, second month, the third month, I'm just like, I'm falling in love with this place. What's happening? And that thing was simple. No perfect people allowed. You belong before you believe. They don't even want to know what is your stance. Just, by the time from the greeting, you already know if you are in or out. Or if you start like this, in this one, in. But if you're gonna go sunburn out this one. This one does not know. This one out. So like you can belong before you believe. I'm like, what is this? So eventually I'm driving with my friend Greg, great friend of mine, like we're just with buds, like, and he goes, hey, because I'm with buds. Hey, who be with buds? We're not buddies or someone like we're buds. Go be. He goes, buddy, so and so likes you and so and so likes you. When you're worshiping, hey, your sisters over they see you, man, and they're like, hey, they wait till you are alpha, and I can just imagine this is leading our prayer sessions in our home, And I was like, buddy, I'm attracted to guys. And it's never gonna happen that. And I'm saying this on our way to church. In hindsight, that was a bit brave, because imagine if he had said, I hasn't you. I don't think we can continue to use it. But then I was just like, if I die, I die.
It is what it is.
It is what it is. And Greg was like, no, buddy, thank you for sharing, And actually, I think a great guy that you can connect with around this is Graham Coddington, another friend of mine, amazing guy. Graham and Jane, love them. And I found a space where I perfectly belonged without having to explain what are my credentials outside of the fact that, you know what, Linda, just like Louis. Yeah, I understand. And then also during that process of me in the wilderness, this was before we will worship wilderness. Such songs like Kimoni Jesus, Yamutsi, So it was like, no, if you stay in this corporate place, my heart was gonna be hardened. I still was like, I don't need that space. I need that because because at work I was openly gay. Come on, and then I was not going to be able to engage in whatever I deem as my calling, like the whole faith and sexuality. Jesus at the center of it all. He is the one who, it's even the Holy Spirit that convicts us. It's sort of, it doesn't even begin with you yourself. You understand? So how do you then forget that? You know it for you, but for others, you're just like, no, but I mean, spirit. How? When esakho sokuhleba sithini ngaleso sakho sokuhleba asisho nix ngoba think put juice mntana.
Yo, this is too deep than I ever imagined. I'm not going to lie.
But now, why was I fired?
Yeah.
So sihlangane ke Sunday. So I've explained that what Grace Point is to me.
To you.
Look at what God does. So, okay, Grace Point is a Methodist church, right? So, I'm Methodist through and through. Methodist, right? So the great Reverend Trevor Hudson comes through. And he preached a sermon that I will never forget. The sermon was titled, "What's in Your Hands?" Right?
What's in your hands?
So, you know that passage, the passage of scripture, you know, sifate, mushe, abona, sifate, situka, sisach, that passage of scripture. And he says, then he went on to say, we come to God with our gifts and talents, but we also come to God with our stories. And often our stories are not sanitized, man. They're places of pain. They're filled with pain. They're filled with so many like rejection and all of that. I mean, look at Moses, right? Here's a Jewish boy who was raised like an Egyptian, but was always reminded of who he was. You know, it must have been painful, you know, or also to leave that comfort because now you're standing for what you believe in, and that also must have been painful, you know. And then he says then, but often our place of pain then becomes our place of ministry.
Yes, sir.
Now, that evening, even though I had prepared myself, nothing could have prepared me for the pain I was about to experience. Nothing. But what God does, he goes before and is like, shh, my son, you are about to get your place of ministry. You are about to fully understand that I have called you to full-time ministry. I have called you, even just outside of just this box you've put just washing. Like it's outside of that. It's no wonder I keep working for the church. Even I work for the church. I'm just like, oh, because I have called you here. It's not going to make sense. It's going to break you. It's going to, it destabilized me. There was a time where do you know what it's like to work for the church and you're supposed to prepare worship music but you can't listen to worship music, any worship music. You can't.
Is it how much they've
you can't, like you want nothing. You would rather be singing at a club. You'd rather, in fact, at my lowest low, I was singing karaoke, papa. Karaoke. Ne?
Did you feel like the hate you got from us Christian because of your sexuality? It was too much for you to continue to sing gospel?
I'm not gonna talk about Christians. These were, you understand? These are my friends. These are my friends.
This is family.
I understand. And now, Corner, I must bring context. I'm having a meeting with Langa and Uputsandi. It's the three of us, Langa, Uputsandi, and me. Ne? Without even going into the details of Ulanga, Uputsandi. That's my older brother. That's my discipler. That he was everything. You understand? And he's facilitating this thing, right? Did he make the decision? No. The decision was made by Ulanga, right? But like the impact of that just that.
Hit. Yeah.
I remember I went, I'd gone to Nom Kabelo's wedding. No. Oh man. And I mean, I wanted to celebrate with Unon and just be like, but she was part of worship and worship was there and just like, and then now you're like, it sinks in. They all go to sing, obviously, because, and you are right here. You're part of the, you just all those things. So, but then this is what God would do, right? Because I wasn't listening to gospel music. And then also because it was my, so he two things he did. One, he used Greg Jordan mightily, my friend Greg. Greg would just come out of the blue and he was like, yo, NJ, I think let's work on the melody of this song. Can we write a song? And I would reluctantly go in and then we'll write that tag. And then meanwhile, those tags and those tags were actually becoming actual songs, right? I was not aware. And still writing from the context of church, so no problems. As long as there's no gospel, just not busy gospel, not gospel, that's not forget. As long as it was not that. And then the other thing is, I would be driving, and then a hymn that I used to sing as a kid, or my parents used to sing, would just drop in my spirit, and I'd go, Thando luka Jesu, ngiluzwa manje, sengiyofaka sanga lokubantu omoya oyingcwele. And when I sing the chorus that ungowami gugulele kimi lokuthula, this piece is mine. It's my precious gift that I was given by Christ. Oh. And I would sob like a baby in my car, like you know that like, and it as if like the father's like hand is over my shoulder to say, shh, I'm here with you. I am comforting you with my love, right? To yo, bro, like, or I'd be just, and then Amazing Grace would come in, Amazing Grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. And where I'm sitting now, thanks to that experience, is I love diverse worship. Thanks to worship, I love writing songs. Well, that I got from my parents. They were writing from back then, right? But then I have a greater appreciation for different expressions of worship because they all matter. Whether it's what's that? Like, in spite of whatever's happening, my friend, I will remain here, right here. And inyawo zikaJesu zikhe esontweni lakho kuphela ngitshele ke mina ke.
FYI.
And futhi mangabe inyawo zikaJesu uzoba nazo vele mawusesontweni lakho ukuze no problem futhi la. Even ku groove zikhona ngintshele ke mina ke. Sengibonile mina oseke wathi ukuthi tshepe lapha ya. Sengibonile ubone ukuthi yazini. Uyabona lo hulukile kanti atetsepothula ngathi so wenze enye into like ngathi so uqale I worship session impela. Yes, babudlile impela. I mean, come on. Do you think when the all powerful God would be limited by the fact of khona umuntu ophuza black label, so his power would be stopped by the fact of wena ugcwele nge-black label, that he would not be able to do what he needs to do at the time that he wants to do it because when you've consumed liquor? Hi, angikho sure. I'm not so sure. I'm not so sure about that.
So from what you have said so far, in a nutshell,
yes,
your character, your life, how you lived your life was the main reason you were fired.
Yeah, I know, because of my sexuality, Papa. Yeah, they were like, I was like, I have something that is supposed to be nailed to the cross, and I'm not nailing it to the cross. And by the way, and I want to say this is very important for me to say. If I was Langa, I would have done the same thing. I would have done the same thing. I would have done. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Because that's the reaction of the church. That's the stance the church has taken over this matter. You understand? And things aren't black and white as we're told all this time. Like, it's just, there's a song that my parents used to sing when I was younger. Shout out Orange from Double Quartet. They would go. The song went just a little longer than the trumpet of God shall sound. Just a little longer, they will be glorified. And then I forgot the other parts because it was English. It was in English, and my English was very small. But there was a part where it goes, "We'll talk it over by and by. We'll talk it over, my Lord and I. I'll ask the reasons, and He'll tell me why. We'll talk it over by and by." There are things that happen in our lives that we sometimes don't have the answers for, right? And you're just like, but God, why did you allow this to happen? I can see that 16-year-old going away from his friends because if praying that God heals him from this attraction that he has to other guys, fully believing that God will heal him. And you know what the Bible says about, hope deferred? It makes the heart to grow sick. Now, there are other things that you are not talking about as the church when we're addressing these things. You think I did not want to say, so I thank you for inviting me. Jobangilana, I did not come alone. I came with my wife, Priscilla, and then Mgama Sugumi and wave. You think I did not want to, have my wife have a relationship with my sisters? There were certain dreams that died with the realization that, kusola. You understand? More so, as in now, I see. I must unpack a lento.
Do you remember the first time you came out and the first person that you told?
It was in 2004.
2004.
I was in high school.
Were you not afraid?
No, it was in 2004. I was in high school. I was with my friend, TJ. And we were talking. And then I sort of happened to mention to him, Wuti, I'm attracted to guys and I'm attracted to girls. Right. Which is still the case. Right. It's just that over the years, it became clearer and clearer that I am more attracted to guys than I am attracted to girls. Right. Contrary to popular belief, sexuality is not as fluid. It's not as rigid as people think it is. It's actually, for some people, for most people, fluid. Right. But then I was telling him in the context, of course, we were part of the LCM, I was part of the leaders of the LCM, Lena's Christian thing. And I mean, my first ever sermon I preached, I was 16. I preached at
Assemblies of God.
No, school assembly.
Oh.
I went in and I told, I think it was around the beginning of knowledge is fearing God, right? So the first person I told was TJ. We're still friends even now, great friends.
That's good.
And then the second person was Uputsand. This was in 2008. I was doing first year, and I felt God was letting me down because or rather not letting me down. I felt like I didn't belong because I need to mind just saying university. There are wonderful apps like Meet 33. If you're part of my world, you would know what Meet 33 was about. Now, I'm not under the care of my parents, so I can organize. Let's meet up. So after 9, but I'm part of worship. I'm just like, and by the time first term, I sent a message. Sunday, I think I'm gonna quit. I'm leaving the church because it feels like God is setting me up. Da, 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 da. Actually, you know what happened? Maxine. Guys, Maxine. Max, guys, I love Max. Max goes, she went, Jabs, are you okay? So she has this calling, this gift where man, like I don't know how to explain it, but I just couldn't lie to her, And then he said, well, I think the best person we should talk to about this is Sandy. I was like, okay, cool. Wow. And then I spoke to Sandy. Then I explained to him, okay, this is the situation. Da, 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 da. And then from then on, I was trusting God for my healing. It was out in the open to Sandy, at least. And I was trusting God for my healing. And then, I would stay away for a while. And then, boom, out of the blue, download this thing again. I binge eat, feel like crap afterwards. And then that's how it went. Until I fell in love. Because then I'm confronted with the fact that I'm in love with this guy. And I can't even, and even at that time, I couldn't even say I'm bisexual or gay. Are you kidding me? The whole time grew up in the church. I knew what it meant. Also, I think I was aware of my calling, and I needed to be straight for my calling, just like, please. So with everything in me, but by the time we were recording, movement begins. Yo, guys, I couldn't stop going to Liquid Blue. I was at Liquid Blue every day, every week, weekend. Like every Thursday, Friday, some Saturdays. I couldn't stop going there. And
then were you in denial by that time, or you were just trying to find something said like you'll be at ease?
I think I was beginning to open up from the sexuality point. I was beginning to open up, but then because I just felt they were at odds. My faith, my calling, and my sexuality, right? And I remember, oh God, I became so depressed. I was so depressed. Umnganamu Ayanda came through, Wazongbona, and that evening, I started writing Kijima. You wanna like literally that song came from a place that, okay, I'm trying with all my might, to do like this whole thing. But man, but then from that space, I was like, even now I can say his grace has been sufficient enough. Also, I didn't want it to be a scandal, so it was important for me to have a conversation with my parents. So as soon as I realized that, okay, this is not working out, I set my mom down. I was like, Ma, this is the situation. And then she spoke to her husband, and then my dad was like,
so you went to the easy road, actually.
No, that's how
approaching your mom.
And then my dad came through. That December 2013, he comes through in my room. He sat by the edge of the bed. I was like, Ndodana, and it was a difficult conversation, it was I think till this day it's not something my dad has made peace with. But what came through from that was that I'm loved. My parents love me, you know. And then again, how much more my Heavenly Father, right? So, but it's not. It's that on its own is a journey, you know. And there's izinto ungayikhuluma ne zingabonakali, because what are the implications of that? We want grandkids. How is it going to happen? Like, which is why I was ngicela ningisupporte ntu. Ngina 34 manje ngifuna uqala umndeni. Ngicela niyasedithele.
That's just for you.
Invitro iyadura. Or yini. So, but all these things, I'm kidding. I'm quite happy with adoption.
Yeah, and like this can go for 2 hours.
Yes.
This has been so deep, man.
Yeah.
It's ideology an issue within Christian community, within the gospel?
Hey. I think the understanding of how heavy these two things are. Remember, they asked Christ, they said, Rabbi, what are the most important commandments in the Bible? Well, in the Torah, because the Bible was not there yet. And he says, love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your mind, with all your soul, and to love your neighbor as you love yourself. Now, friends, I don't think we understand how difficult the second part is.
Yeah.
To love your neighbor as you love yourself. You know, in 2017, this kid who lives 5 or 6 houses from my street rode off my car. I just paid 16,000 to have the engine fixed. Remember, I'm an artist. I'm in ministry full time. You must understand. 16,000. And I love that Etios cross. You know, it was a step up from the Hyundai Atos. I really loved it. And till this day, his mom, the kid was drunk, did not have a driver's license, did not have right of way. So he was at fault. Till today, the mother has never said to me, I'm sorry. Just, I'm sorry. I found myself going back to public transport. You guys, do you know when you were driving yourself and then now you're back to you and then I'd come back from work and I'd see this car. I would see it. And her car was fine. And then you must know, she's not even greeting us. She's not even, it's just there's that. And angifuna uqamba amanga bengimzonda with every fiber of my being. And I was honest with that feeling about I hate it. And then I'd be reminded, love your neighbor. And I was like, God, I don't know how to forgive this person. I know your Bible says I must forgive them, but I don't know how to do it. And so, help me. So what we need to understand is that salvation is not easy on our own, using our own strength. So yes, you're going to interpret it differently. We're not all going to see eye to eye. You know, I believe women should be leaders in the church. I believe in women in ministry and all of that, you know. But there are those who are not for that, right? Would I recommend any woman to stay in that church? No. But then there are women who are like, well, this is my home and I find it speaks to me. We're sweating the small stuff when we should be going back and unpacking. Okay, what is this about? And then we believe in God. Okay, fine, sharp.
Are they gatekeepers in the industry? Have you been blocked?
I don't want to even view it as gatekeepers, blah blah blah. We just, if you know the music industry, you know that it's either you're signed, but not every one of us get the opportunity to be signed, or not every one of us want to be signed. And then if you go the independent route, it's gonna be extra tough. It's gonna be extra challenging. But one of Shem be crash sengikhuluma izinto mangikhuluma izinto. I want to sing gospel. Bengivukela for ulusana bengivukela abantwana baseka angifuni kamama like yawan. But then it moved from obviously a crash, with me to in the industry, like a great friend, is an amazing guy. Lusana like an amazing guy. He's been at it. Yamazu, I want to sing gospel one.
Yeah.
Yamazu.
The first season.
Yeah. Yamazu one in. That's 2008. Ne?
8-9.
2008-9. Lab. Bengenza show. We know no msoko. Ngithi Nkosi yami. Ngalaso sikhathi ngiseCloset inenzima kabi ngiphinde ngiyibuyise brother.
Come back
brother. How brother. How brother. Ngizibuyise mara every Sunday mangiqeda ukubuya into. But like he has remained faithful to his calling. That uJesu lidwala, when people got Jesu lidwala, people were like, oh no, there was diligent work. That then if you believe that God has called you to do this and you believe in just in yourself, and I'm gonna bet on myself and I'm gonna take this, then it's gonna be a bit longer. You're taking the road less traveled. It's gonna be a bit longer. But the rewards are gonna be a lot more. Right? But then hang in there. And then some of us try, and then we eventually maybe God remembers us before Sifiga lap. But the important thing is you believed in yourself enough to say, I am going to invest. Guys, recording music is expensive.
A lot.
It is very expensive. I believe in myself. I am running myself. So it's fine. I'm fine.
An investment actually.
My niece asked, this is what he does. And she gets it.
Before I could move to your new singer that's coming out, I got the opportunity to hear it.
Yeah.
How is it being a Christian and gay at the same time, knowing very well that Christianity has taught people that being gay is not natural from God?
So, it's when I started unpacking about John chapter 1, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God. It was God, right? Nothing was created, outside of the Word, right? But it says, the Word became flesh and made its dwelling amongst us, right? And it continues to say, it came to its own, though the world was created. It neither received him nor recognized him.
Yes, sir.
And then it continues to say, but yet to all those who received him, to all those who believe in him, he has given the right to be called sons and daughters. My favorite book of the Gospels, which is E4, Lega John. Lega John emphasizes the word faith and belief so many times. Yeah. So then as soon as I understood, the qualifying factor here is belief, it's faith and belief. Then singenala. And then noguti, Christ, the Redeemer, is my righteousness. uKristu ungulunga kwami. Okwami ukulunga kufana nedwedwe ingcolile. You understand? Ngokwami. Madoda. My goodness.
Yeah.
One of my favorites. Then it helps in the songwriting, because angisho le ngoma esiyibhalayo ingoma esiyiphilayo. Yabo. So as I'm engaging, yabo, then I'm like, no man. uKristu walenga ngenxa yami, wathwala izono zami ukuze ngithole ukuphila. Ngenxa yothando wakudela konke, ingakho ngizomnika uqobo lwami. Ake ukumnika kwami uqobo lwami nginika uKristu akuhlangene nawe mntana sekhaya. Naye la ifika ihlungu ngokukhulu nje ukuyithoba. Nawe ungamnika uqobo lwakho ngendlela ofuna ukumntashingana ngayo, yabo. Because mina angithandi lento ukuthi ngenze njani, ngipretende ngikhuluma into engekho, yabo. Ngilo mzalwane othi izembe liwe la. Angeke ngithi why is the guy I'm all of the south? I can feel like I can poteke. Mo taba isinyele mo right here. Can't what is the spirit? In spirit and in truth.
Yeah.
If ungakasizakala, yabo, maybe siyanyathelana mina no John. Ngabe uzokunyathela uJohn. But ngiyadlala. Asibone siyanyathela no John. And then mangakabi ready to engage, I'm not even going to no, I won't say it.
Yeah.
I will not say it because it's not the truth. Yeah. Why am I saying it? So that I can feel like I've done. I know. Ngifuna ekuthiwa yazini uzomxola zehle bese ngithi ndaba bekunje kodwa uNkulunkulu ungincedile sangayindlulisa, so that next time hey yabo John yena alright yena mara yo sasakathi ukukhuluma ngawe yabo. Khona ingoma they used to sing when I was my aunts used to sing when I was a
little boy.
Yeah, it goes khona makholwa ahlukana noJesu ngenxa yezinto ezincane nje, ngenxa yokuhletshwa. Guys, ukuhletshwa abantu asinto encane. Siqala lapho ne kubhlungu kuyalimaza, but in comparison to the love of God and the life of that eternal life, it's nothing. So equally, being rejected for having same-sex attraction, something I never asked for, something I have prayed against, is a huge thing, or was a huge thing for me. But it was nothing compared to eternity. I cannot, and I was almost at the danger of giving up on something that is eternal over something that's not eternal. Do you know that men and women is not eternal? But that's a conversation for another day. Just gender.
Yeah.
Gender itself. Right? Okunye asilifunde le Bible. Singalifundi ukuyobamba ukuthi singamtrapha kanjani uNjabulo, singamtrapha kanjani uToda. No, so just read it, you know.
And understand.
Yeah. Did you know that Sarah and Abraham were actually brother and sister? Half brother, half sister.
Yes, sir.
Oh, go check it out and then come back and let's have a conversation.
We are in a class. We are in a class. Let's we've been here for like 2 hours. This is the longest thing I've ever done. Your single is coming up.
Yes.
And
befanga besiqalela now yazi.
And at some point you never wanted to do gospel, but then you are back to it now. Please tell us about the song, what inspired the song, and when is it coming out?
Okay, so the name of the song is called Untitled. Sort of started writing the song in 2014. I'd been invited to a funeral to attend a funeral, sing at a funeral in Lesotho. So I went to Lesotho, sang, and then went to the grave site, obviously, and I started singing like in this deep, beautiful Sotho thing on my bob. It's like this hymn I did not know, right? So on my way back, it stayed with me. Yeah, well, like just the, and then my friend Lenani Ndwandwa had was doing Fashion with Gospel. So he would plan it. It will happen in the other for the following year, maybe in October or whatever. But no November of before. Nganami ngifuna nje yabona nganami ngifuna nje ingoma this was he was describing yabona kuloko ngifuna nje ucule nje icilongo ucule nje before I said to Linda the agreement with I would love to keep doing Fashion with Gospel, but can I write my own stuff? That's another vehicle God used as an incubator, because I literally wrote. So he came, he gave me the brief. He wants a hymn. I was like, by the way, I'm working on this hymn, but obviously it was still a song idea. So I had to quickly just write. And I'm like, here you go. What do you think? And he was like, let's do it. So I remember me sitting with the great Ngobego Mbata, and he was like, okay, here's the song. And so eventually at the end of the thing, he's like, is this your song? I was like, yeah, I wrote it. He's like, yeah, no, this is dope. Cool. I was like, okay, cool. I'm headed towards the right direction. I was still part of Full Worship at the time. This was 2015 now. This is 2015. And then 2016 happens. I'm out. And I want nothing to do with. So I sang that song in 2015, and I never sang it again. Then sometime in 2019, I felt, man, let me come back. So we were working on the song with these guys. So I'm working with, on the song, I partnered with a band called Intimate Worshippers. They're from the Eastern Cape. So we did, so we did 2 songs. We did Dumcini and Tlizio, and we also did Chiko Langa Letu. So I booked them to record on the 4th of October 2019. And that day, my paternal grandmother passed away. Right? So just carrying the recording session was just a lot. So we recorded everything, and then again, I did not want to touch the song because now it reminded me of my grandmother, right? Then in July this year, Umam Kulu passed away, my mom's older sister. Then as we were laying her to rest, Masbuya Ogyombega, my grandmother passed away. Literally that same day. So experiencing death at a funeral, right?
It's too much.
And then like it triggered the song, because it was dark. Like, when you lose a loved one, it just becomes
like the lights are off.
And the first words of the song are Sondela ngakini Nkosi ungabi sedeni nami. Ngoba sakuhlwile. Like it's ukuhlwa ke angazi English, my English data I've depleted. It's dark, it's at night, but even in that, which is why I love the gospel, because it's life and death. This is, so I felt as a form of just healing myself, and let me get the song out there. And I'm also just thirsty for unhurried worship with no agendas. I'm not trying to usher anyone into anything. We're just here to worship God, and so I'm looking forward to creating more such spaces without hanging up. So good time when umuntu wesifazane, umuntu wesilisa, when I'm agnostic, agnostic, or it doesn't, whatever the case may be. And let's worship the King of Kings
And
without
love one another.
yeah. So that's
Be kind to each other.
yeah. So that's where I'm at. Again, do I consider myself as a gospel artist? I consider myself as a worship leader who's plugged in a local church and gets to write and record worship music and has the blessing of, getting to visit other churches, and be plugged in that space to do that, the stuff that we do every Sunday.
Sure.
Yeah.
This has been one deep conversation. During the week, you are stressing me, or like, how will I be able to handle this? But then there's a little maganyana mo.
You
Shuffle.
Ngimbonile uJohn. Ubona ukuthi yamana ukuthi uJohn uyanyathelana. Ngimbonile abhala.
We will do a shuffle and sing, yeah?
Okay.
You select a paper.
Yes.
You sing whatever it's written there. I did not see what's happening. What's that? King Moa. You don't know it. Next one.
Holy. Busagim. Sankosia. No, guys, I don't know this.
Please sing the song.
You know what normally happens, ne?
Okay.
We're normally given the set list like 2 weeks in advance, and then we play the songs, and then we learn them. So as a worship leader, yes, I have a feeling that none of these songs here. I am not happy with you guys. I really am not happy. Up on my piano la. Angeke. Nalena ngiyazi. Liphi icilonga makwethu? Uphi umbhedesho?
Still.
Yo.
Yeah, you need to check. You need to check what's happening. This is the last one.
Yile engayazi le vele sivumile ukuthi angazi. Wayengekho yebo lena amandla lezi sizaziyo. Also, where's Israel and Ukraine in this whole thing?
Jabs. Can you give us from your new singer that's coming, or is it the EP? Let's get an exclusive. Yo.
So this is probably okay. This is yet to be recorded, but it's going to be part of the new project.
Mm-hmm.
So here we go. Hey guys, I'm very but when I'm Nkosi ophakeme ongumlilo oqothulayo wawukhona mandulo umhlaba ungekabibikho siyakhothama sidumisa ongu Alpha no Omega isiqalo nesiphetho. Inkazimulo yakho igcwala ithempeli. Hey, siyakhothama, oh, sidumisa sithi, wena ulungile, wena ulungile, wena ulungile, wena ulungile.
Sure. Okay, guys, we are about to wrap this thing up, but then earlier on, you mentioned that at some point you were suicidal. There's someone who's there, maybe in their closet, they are suicidal. I just want you to leave a message for them.
God says, I know you. I've created you.
I knew you.
And He's promised never to leave us nor forsake us. I know we've been told that ezinye izono zingcono kunezabanye. In fact, even that line, you know, when you have same-sex attraction, or whether if you belong to the alphabet gang, whatever alphabet that applies to you. Thank you, Dave Chappelle, for this one. Right. Know that you are known by God. You are loved by God. And He has called you for such a time as this. Hang in there. If you want to talk, you're more than able. You're more than welcome to actually reach out. Can I share my social stuff?
Yeah, you can definitely do that.
NJ Kunene on Facebook, NJ_Kunene on Twitter, and on Instagram. And when you follow, I follow back. And then the DMs are always open, especially about this stuff, because it's something that I went through. I know what it's like to grow up in a church and feel and deem the church to be a safe space. And then suddenly to realize that actually this safe space that I used to have, I no longer have. I know what it's like to walk with people and have friends all over. And then once you come out, you're just like, oh, I haven't connected with so-and-so in such a long time. You know, to be asked to sing at a wedding, and then you come up like, oh, can't sing at the wedding because all the leaders are going to be there. And then, I know what it's like to experience rejection. So such conversations, I don't take lightly. So know that you are known by God. You are loved by God. And He has called you. You know, they said to Jesus, his disciples said, they saw a blind man and they said, Rabbi, who sinned for this man to be born blind? Is it the mom? Is it the father? Or is it this person? And then Jesus said, no one. It was so that the glory of God can be displayed. And I can tell you, being a member of the alphabet gang, I see the glory of God being displayed over and over, even in the space of rejection, because being rejected by some people in the church has made me to seek out other spaces. And do you know what a blessing it is to be able to talk about Christ at Kitcheners? Bruh, like, and here I'm like, yeah, this is what I do, and this is like, oh, cool. And then someone's just like, but the Bible says this. I'm like, and right there we're having a faith conversation in a place that is unconventional. It's such a blessing. Yeah. But Neo, thank you for this time, brother.
It was a great time, actually. What do you think about cancel culture?
I don't like cancel culture.
All right.
I don't like cancel culture, but men are trash. No, they are.
Man, as you
And
know.
you know why? Can I something? Because Patrick is trash.
Well, that's a topic for another day. This is your boy Neo Mujapula here. Live, love, pray, and live an eternal life, man. I'll see you on the next episode. We are out of here.